Welcome back to another episode of Front Row Cinema, a movie podcast for movie lovers by movie lovers. I am your host, Teacher Trimboli, and with me, as always, my co-host. I got the director of Treadstone in the house tonight. I don't know how long we have him for, so you better enjoy him while I got him. It's Mr. James O'Reilly.
Listen, I don't know how many times I can say this, but Treadstone was shut down 2 years ago, okay?
I don't know about it. I'm getting a lot of reports from off the deep web here, down in the bunkers of the FBI offices, man. I don't know what to believe anymore. Bunch
Yeah,
of your
well,
guys are
you can
showing up
you can
dead.
trust me. It's been closed for 2 years. I can say it 70 or 80 more times if you need me to.
All right. Well, once I get you under deposition, Mr. Hegseth, you can tell me if that's true or not. And each week we take a look at a different movie from our childhood and we see how well it's aged, along with the hype surrounding the film, its box office analysis, and legacy in the film industry. So if you enjoy this kind of content, hit that sub button on YouTube, leave that 5-star review on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. It's how you help the channel grow. Jim, what are we watching tonight?
We're watching the how do I say this? The sequel a lot of people did ask for and like maybe shouldn't have. The Bourne Supremacy.
That's right, the 2004 spy thriller, directed by Paul Greengrass, written by Tony Gilroy, my man Tony, and starring Matt Damon, Joan Allen, Carl Urban, and Brian Cox. Now we got our lovely DVD over here, so we can go for our logline. Jim, which would you prefer? Would you prefer the Blu-ray Steelbook logline, or would you prefer the 4K logline? How would you like these?
Which one's shorter?
We'll go with our lovely little Blu-ray one here. It's a little bit shorter for us here. Um, my God, this isn't even that good of a log line. This log line sucks. There we go. It's pretty amazing. Here we go, Jim. Here, our log line, and it reads: They should have left him alone. Matt Damon is back as expert assassin Jason Bourne in this stunning, non-stop action hit. Boom. Great.
Yep, that's all we needed. Beautiful. My favorite one yet.
Holy minute. Absolutely astonishing. Thank you.
Yeah.
Deep cover.
I wish all of them were literally like that, like two sentences and very little about the movie.
Or just like Matt Damon is this guy. He's back. You watch it. Awesome. Great. Thank you, Logline. What are your memories of this film, Jim? When was did you see this in theaters? When was the first time watch for this?
I would have saw this in theaters with my dad for sure. And my memories are I vividly remember the scene in India, like when Carl Urban is chasing them. And then I also remember the like, she's standing right next to you. Like, those are like, it's amazing like how burned into my brain those two scenes were, you
They're so
know?
good. Yeah.
But I don't remember actually seeing it, but it feels like something I would have seen in theaters with my dad.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I didn't see this in theaters, but I definitely watched these at some point on DVD. Probably a few years later. I don't think because I know we saw the third one in theaters together. So, but I don't know if I watched the first two like around then or if it was way back before that I actually watched the first two. But I also have certain scenes like burned into my brain. The one in particular for me is the car chase, the big car chase that him and Carl Urban have. Was one that was always ingrained in my head.
Yeah, in Munich. Yeah.
Yeah, and then for me, it was not the one where he's like, she's standing right next to you. For me, it was the one where he was like, "Get some rest, Pam. You look tired."
Yeah. That one's pretty great too. Yeah.
That was
It's a
the one.
good double back. Good
I
call.
Yeah, good call, Vic. Which is it's like such a funny little franchise there. Now, I know you said you went and saw this with your dad. Was he a big fan of the books?
I don't think he ever read these books, but he is like a spy movie aficionado. So like
Gotcha. So
this
it's
is the kind
another,
of movie he wouldn't have missed. Like
yeah,
he
a
likes
big
this kind
genre
of
for
like
it.
cloak and dagger kind of stuff.
Yeah, because I remember you saying it was a big into like the movies like the Manchurian Candidate. So I guess this movie kind of falls like within like the same kind of like frame.
Yeah, I mean not so much as the 2004 one.
Listen, they both
But
deal with like kind of like a brainwash. One guy's got amnesia, the other one's been brainwashed, can't remember. Like
yeah, yeah.
we're in the same ballpark here. Now, I was shocked because it was just recently that I read these books. Because I like the movies and I'm always looking for stuff to read. So I was like, you know what? Like, let me read the Bourne books. And I was shocked to learn that the Bourne books do not follow the movies like even a little bit. Like, it is the barest of plots that they take over from the book to the movie. So, like, the movie
Yeah,
for the Bourne Supremacy is absolutely nothing like the book, The Bourne Supremacy. Which,
interesting.
yeah, which I guess like works out fine for me because I read the book like decades after I saw the movie, so it didn't have that same impact as I imagine it would for some people who would read the book first and then see the movie come out and be like, that's not my Bourne Supremacy. It's not anything like
Right,
the book.
right, right.
But it's interesting to see both, see how different they are, the tiny little bit of similarities, but still see how like both end up being like a really good polished product. Because I'm not gonna lie, the Born Supremacy book is like one of the best books I've ever read in my life. Like it's fucking
Okay.
phenomenal. And I would love to see a world where like down the line these get either a remake or a reimagining and they do them more in line with how the actual books go. Because
Oh,
I
come on,
understand
they're gonna make a Hulu original series out of this, dude.
I
One
would
day.
I
Can't
would
be too far away.
I would take it. I would take it simply because like that book is too good to not see like an actual adaptation of. And I understand why they changed what they changed because they wanted to make a contemporary spy thriller. And all of the Bourne books take place or in the time in which they were written, which was like the late 60s, 70s. So you're really dealing with a lot of the espionage from that era.
Right,
And when
right.
they were making this today, they wanted to make a more concurrent one to reflect the times that we were in. And when you do
Yeah.
that, like once you start making that, dominoes fall, butterfly effect, you're going to start changing more and more shit. So I get why they made all those changes, but I'm not going to lie, I would like to see a world where we get maybe like a Hulu original show and we get like more in line with how the
Yeah.
actual how that actual book is because Jim, you would love that book too because we have kind of like the same sensibility when it comes to like certain stories that we really dig on. You would fucking love that second book.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to read it now. You've put it on my radar.
Yeah. No, they're really all three of them. I think for whatever reason they die. He died, Robert Ludlum, who like wrote the books, but I guess like his estate or somebody like licenses it out to people and they still write Bourne books like today. And it's like fine, like fuck that. Like, but those original three that he wrote are like fantastic.
Yeah. Wasn't this the one where like they didn't they write another book specifically so they could make another movie? Like
Yeah, I think that was Legacy with the one that
yes, the
Jeremy Renner
Bourne
did, right?
Legacy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, yeah, that's nonsense. But the three that he wrote are really good, and I would absolutely recommend not to you, but to everybody as well out there. Like if you're a big reader, and you dig on some spy thrillers, like the Bourne books are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'll definitely have to check them out. And like I never even like really thought too much about those books, mostly because I'd seen the movies and I just kind of assumed they weren't too different.
Yeah, no,
But
no, they are actually like crazy. I think the first book is like the closest to the movie, and even that still changes like a lot.
yeah.
But the second and third books are completely different stories, but equally incredible. So like the plot kind of still is the same, where like in Born Supremacy, does a murder and frames it that Jason Bourne did it to bring Bourne out of hiding to kind of like
Okay.
so that still happens in this book, but the location in which it's set in like the 70s it's in China. So he has to go and infiltrate like the whole like world, like the underground world of China during this time period. And it's just like fucking masterful, everything that happens. Like that he has to go
Wow.
and deal
That
with out.
actually sounds way better. Why didn't they
Yeah,
just make that movie?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
No,
But
but yeah, it's interesting because like I do like we talk about whenever we talk about adaptations, like I think we usually generally agree that they need to be adapted, right? Like and if like you don't have like kind of an original story that you can pull out of something, I'm maybe not as interested in your adaptation, like a different angle or like a new take. if you don't have that, I don't really get what the point is. So like this stuff just never bothers me.
No, I'm never really bothered by like changes because like as long as the as long as what you're putting on screen reflects like makes sense within the context of the movie you're making, I'm fine with whatever changes you make because like
Yeah.
I have that thing. Like I can read the Bourne Supremacy whenever I want. It's right there. But like everything they do in this movie works because within the confines of the movie that they wrote, it's all structured and works properly. So like it doesn't bother me the changes that they made to the adaptation because like it's still a product that works and makes sense within the framework of what they were doing.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
So I'm with that. And
Um,
I mean, it worked for the people too because like this movie did some business. So I think we're good to cue it up, Jim. Let me dive in some box office numbers.
Numbers, dates, numbers, numbers, dates, array, dates, numbers. Show me the money.
all right. So the Bourne Supremacy is gonna open against a $75 million budget.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It sounds really good for a lot of the movies we've seen. Like
Especially for this
we
movie
talk a
too.
lot about safe bets when we get to the box office part of this, right?
Yeah.
And like after Born Identity, this has got to be a pretty safe bet if you're only spending $75 million making it, right? Like that was a
Especially,
really popular movie, Born Identity.
but also like 75 feels cheap because like this is a pretty globe-trotting movie. Like you can tell they definitely actually shot in India
Right.
and London and yeah, and Russia.
Yeah, or I mean like I mean they, these kinds of movies are famous for like going to Prague and just like putting up street signs and like making it look like they're in different places. Like wasn't that what they did in Euro Trip?
Yeah, I think we can give a little bit more a little bit more leeway to the Bourne Supremacy over Euro Trip.
But I do think that it's like done really well if that is how they did this movie, and it is a credit to Tony Gilroy that this movie only cost $75 million. It's like pretty great work on his part.
Tony Gilroy. Well,
Um,
Paul Greengrass was the director. I think Tony Gilroy only wrote the movie.
oh, Tony Gilroy only wrote this one?
Yeah, yeah, he only wrote this one. But
Well,
still,
credit to the guy you just said.
oh yeah, Paul Greengrass.
Yeah, for sure, that guy.
Yeah, see, so this
Okay.
movie, portions of this movie were shot in Moscow.
Okay.
They shot in and around Berlin, and then they also shot in Goa, India. So
Wow.
75 million for going to all three of those places, like that's pretty stellar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's interesting too because I think you kind of see it on screen a little bit. Like, how much really happens when he's in Moscow? Like, yeah, you film like a big car chase, sure, you know?
Just so that car chase is
Um,
pretty wild.
yeah, and it was pretty wild. Yeah, absolutely. But like, he's probably in Moscow for what, like 15 minutes of that movie? And like
Yeah,
most of it, he's kind of just like slowly walking through hotel lobbies. You know what I mean? Like you could have like banged that stuff out in a weekend. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, it's like it's interesting. I think they did a good job to get it down to that number. And I do definitely give credit to the director because again, that makes this movie a really safe bet. I mean, like they spent like 75 plus million to make Kangaroo Jack for Christ's sakes. You know what I mean?
this is true. Yeah, your Jack was the same amount of money.
And so anyway,
Although, I mean,
Bourne Sup- go
to
ahead.
to one detriment, Bourne Supremacy, big lack of kangaroos in it.
That's true. The focus groups really should have been on that one.
Yeah, like would it really been that hard for the ending to have been in Australia instead of Moscow? Like, come on.
Right, like Nesky's
Yeah.
daughter like moved to the outback because she just needed to get away from it all.
I mean, Carl Urban is actually right, isn't he Australian or like New Zealand? I think he's a Kiwi.
Carl Urban's from New Zealand, yeah.
Yeah, he's from New Zealand. Yeah, see, so like, come on, it's right there. Like, come on.
Uh, Little fun fact about Carl Urban, not related to Keith Urban, just in case you didn't know.
Gee, you're blowing my mind right now.
But anyway,
Distant cousins from across the pond.
yeah, right, right. No, he's Carl Urban from the New Zealand Urbans. But anyway, Bourne Supremacy is going to open against that $75 million budget the weekend of July 23rd through July 25th. So kind of like tail end of the summer too, which is interesting.
So they're hoping to do like that. Look at that big opening in July and then kind of just run through August.
Yeah, probably. Right. And like I guess let's see if they can pull it off. It is gonna open number one with $52.5 million dollars.
Ooh, man, that's good. So 52.5 gonna put us top 25, baby, taking the number 25 spot. Just behind How the Grinch Stole Christmas is 55.1, but knocks Van Helsing out of the top 25 with their
Oh,
paltry 51.
how the mighty have fallen.
See you later, Van Helsing.
Okay, so it beats out iRobot in second place with 21.7 million, and the opening weekend of Catwoman down in third place with 16.7 million.
Oh dear Lord.
Yeah.
Fucking
So
cat.
yeah, I mean, kind of a good point. Like they missed the opening week of that Will Smith movie, so they're not going to go up against Will Smith's like stretch of number one opening movies. And then I mean, their only other competition it was Catwoman, which I
Yes,
mean,
like
come on,
they had to know. They're like, listen, this is gonna be the safest bet ever, bro. Like
right?
Catwoman, like not getting no way.
And I mean, like fourth week of Spider-Man 2 is down here in fourth, so like that movie was very like front-loaded, loses some steam as it goes on. So yeah, like it's definitely paying off so far. Going into weekend two, the Bourne Supremacy is going to drop 54%, move down to second place with 24.2 million.
Worst drop. It's not terrible. It's usually standard for movies that open big.
Yeah, I mean, 52 is like a good number, but it's not like when I say open big and then like a big drop, I'm thinking like 80 plus, you know what I mean? 54 is a pretty big drop for this movie. But again, because of the budget, you're kind of doing great at this point, right? You've grossed 98.8 million through the first two weekends. You've already made back your budget. And like you said, you're going to be cruising through August. Two other
So,
movies we've done here are in the top three. Manchurian Candidate is going to be down in third place with 20 million even. That's the opening weekend there.
oh boy.
This is the opening weekend of The Village, which opened number one.
Oh yeah. What a weekend that was.
So weekend three of Bourne Supremacy, it's going to drop another 40.5% down to 14.3 million down in third place.
Huh?
And then, I mean, I think we just ride it out of the top 10 at this point. I don't know that there's much more interesting to talk about here. So let's
I
see
mean,
how
we've
long it
really talked
lasts.
about like all the other movies around here, like ad nauseum. So I
Right,
think it's safe to
exactly.
just ride
So,
Supremacy out of the 10.
yeah, weekend four, notably the opening weekend of the Athens Olympics.
Ooh, can Bourne Supremacy get over the hump and succeed where so many others have failed?
No, the Athens Olympics is going to take a huge chunk out of this Bourne business. It drops 40.2% down to 8.6 million in fifth place. The Athens Olympics just running roughshod over Hollywood.
They're just like it can't be stopped.
Weekend five, the Athens Olympics still in full swing. Bourne Supremacy drops down to seventh place with 6.4 million.
I mean, hey, it's just nice to see a movie last more than 4 weeks this summer for once.
Right. Weekend six, it's going to drop another 28.2% down to 4.6 million. And then finally oh wait, hold on. Weekend seven,
Oh,
notably Labor Day weekend. It's
interesting.
gonna drop down to 10th place with 4.1 million. Only an 11% drop that week. So
That's
this
really
did
good.
well over Labor Day.
It's good.
And then finally, in weekend eight, all the way on September 10th through the 12th, it's gonna be down in 12th place with 2.3 million.
All right, listen, dude, we finally got over the 4 week deficit that we've been seeing, like from movie after movie. So it's great to finally see a movie stick around and do what we said. We said it was going to run through August, make some money throughout August, and it did just that. 7 weeks is going to join the only other movie from summer 2004 that managed to get over that hump. Spider-Man 2 also had 7 weeks.
Mm.
So that's some good company right there.
Yeah, the 7 weeks. And then I mean like just always putting that into perspective, right? Because let's look at some totals. Domestic, it's going to finish with 176.2 million, which is really good for that $75 million budget.
Yeah, that's good.
And this is also a movie that's probably going to crush it in home video. I mean, like a big part of the reason why the first one got a sequel is because I'd imagine the first one absolutely crushed it in home video. So yeah, good total domestically. International market, I think we've seen some higher numbers from the international market on other movies where it kind of saved the day. And I'm wondering if we're starting to see a little bit of a trend there. We've talked about this a couple times, but internationally, it's going to pull in 114.4 million for a worldwide total of 290 million point six. 290.6 million.
Right. 290.6. Good enough for the number 37 spot on our list, behind X-Men's 296.3 and ahead of The Village's 256.7. That's a good spot. I mean, for a $75 million budget, like
Yeah,
that's rousing success right there.
yeah. I have a question for you. Do you keep track of the international totals on their own?
I do.
So we like had a couple movies where we had like stated that the international market kind of saved the day. Like, has there been any that beat Bourne internationally?
Yeah, there's been plenty that have beaten Bourne internationally.
Okay,
This
where
one
is it on that
actually,
international list?
this actually that 114 is like more like on the low end because
Okay.
we've had a decent amount of movies that have cut like King Arthur did 151.7 internationally, like tore that one out. Fucking Garfield the movie did 132.
Yeah, there we go. What was Van Helsing's?
Van Helsing was, 1 second, see if I could find it here. Where are you, Van Helsing? Van Helsing, yeah, Van Helsing's international was 180 million.
Right. So that was the one movie I was thinking of too. The trend I was talking about. I'm starting to realize that like really broadly popular IP is kind of the way to go. Because like I mean, Bourne Supremacy is IP, but I don't know that it was like super well known like until these movies came out.
Yeah,
Like not definitely not a household name before these movies came out, right?
definitely not.
And it's getting like crushed internationally, like by movies like Van Helsing and Clive Owen's King Arthur.
Yeah, right. If you got that broad appeal, like audiences will go for it. Brother Bear did 165.1 internationally.
Right, right. So it's like you're starting to see the kind of movie that's gonna do well internationally, and it's just amazing how you're gonna see like in just a little bit, it's gonna feel like every movie is gonna feel like that kind of movie, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, coming in a little bit on the low end internationally, but an absolute win all around for this movie, critically and commercially altogether. 82% on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics, 90% from the audience, 7.7 IMDb with the A minus cinema score, Jim.
Oh baby.
Oh yeah, it got there, all right. And then
All right. So how many reviews do you have?
I went a little bit lighter on here because I feel like doing four of each was a lot every week. So I condensed it down to two good ones from each one.
Okay.
So we got two oneers, two tenors here. And any guesses how you think the people are going to respond to the Bourne Supremacy this weekend?
As always, I'm expecting some not my born supremacy.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I or you already did some not my
Yeah,
born
yeah.
supremacy, kinda.
I did a bit more of a diplomatic way than I think some of these oneers will be able to.
Yeah, yeah. No, yeah, you articulated yourself very well, like an adult.
Yeah.
It was kind of impressive.
Go figure. I don't know how I was able to do such a mature thing.
But
Seems so
but
outside of my
yeah, so
wheelhouse.
I'm expecting some not my born supremacy. I'm curious to see if anybody gets called a babe this week.
It'd be very interesting. Yeah. Although I don't, not a lot of like babe work to be done in the movie. Like the two women do not get like Julia Stiles is maybe 3 scenes in the entire movie. Joan
Yeah,
Allen does have a lot of work. We might have some mature babes out there. It's possible. It's possible.
yeah.
I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. So we'll kick it off with our first one star here, Jim. And they write worst sequel ever. I absolutely love the first film. I wanted this to become the new Bond. This film was one of the most wasteful films I've ever seen. An incoherent script coupled with overuses of what the director thought was a trendy shake the camera during the action effect and quick edits made this viewer want to ask for his money back. To get an idea of the trendy effect I'm talking about, imagine trying to film a foot chase scene and to keep up with the action, you have the cameraman running too. I would guess some percentage approaching half of the film was filmed in this manner. It actually made me a little sick to my stomach from all the shaking. I had two choices for films to see this night: The Bourne Supremacy or Catwoman. So I looked at ratings on IMDb, of course. 8 plus for Bourne, less than 3 for Catwoman. I have to wonder if either someone is stacking votes or if there's some kind of mix up in the ratings, because I would switch those two.
Oh my God. How did I not get IMDb voter fraud? How did I miss that trope?
It it blows my mind the amount of like voter fraud conspiracy theories
You're right. You're right. But there
that
was
there
on
are.
IMDb, yeah. Like
It's
it's
so
so funny, dude. Yeah, and I
stacking the
love
votes.
if I'm to understand that guy, what he's saying is he did not see Catwoman, right? Because he had to choose between the two of them, and he went and saw
Yes.
Bourne. And so he just wants to like arbitrarily swap their ratings. Like he's just gonna say, "All right, Catwoman's an 8-star movie now."
It's like
Like,
talking
no
about
way.
stacking the votes, bro. He's like, I'm calling Bourne out for stacking the votes, but I also want to stack the votes.
Yeah, but also
So
we
it
should give this movie
sucks.
I've never seen an 8. Like, okay, buddy.
Oh my god, I absolutely love it. Like man, I the voter fraud that never gets old. We
Although,
have
what do you think? Is that maybe a troll?
uh I
The
don't know.
Catwoman thing makes me feel trolly.
It could be trolly, but I don't know. I think this dude's sincere
Okay,
because
all
the
right.
other stuff, like, I don't think he was that out of pocket with the other stuff. Because, like, I'm not gonna lie, we'll get into it more later, but I'm with him on the shaky cam.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah.
Yeah, so like he kind of cooked in the middle, but then
Yeah.
he had to call out the voter fraud.
Although I will say, I don't know if it was shaky cam for approaching 50% of the movie. That sounds like a little
Yeah,
much,
yeah, no,
honestly. But
his level to the amount of shaky cam could be called into question, but hating on the shaky cam I can get down with, but his the IMDb Dominion voting machines being rigged. I don't know if I can get
yeah,
behind
yeah,
those.
yeah.
We'll have to get a ruling from Fox, see what they think. Our last one star reviewer writes, I am upset. This first film was a wonderful work of spy movie art. The second fell further than a penny from the Sears Tower. I wasted 525 on this pathetic, overrated movie of July. Oh well, no more movies by Tony Gilroy for me. I mean, he is the devil who bore Armageddon. What? No, he wasn't.
Yeah, I don't think he was
I don't
actually.
think he did that, guy. It was J. Abrams. There were no kills by Jason Bourne. There was no sex. How do you have no sex? And there were only 3 hot chicks with bit rolls. The car
Oh, there
chase
wasn't enough.
wasn't
Wait
enough
a
hot
second.
chicks.
Wait a second. So this guy is all at once saying there was 3 hot chicks in the movie, and that was entirely not enough hot chicks in the movie.
Jim, not only that, only 3 hot chicks and no sex scenes. What is this?
Right.
What a waste of hot chicks. He continues. The car chase left me flaccid. Expectations have
What
never
did
been
you
more.
want it to do?
If I'm not rock hard during a car chase, Jim, what's even the point?
It's like, if the car chase doesn't give me a diamond in my pants, what am I doing there?
Leaving me no chubs, man. Like zero chubs in the car chases. Expectations have never been more dubiously overrated.
This guy is like the best one yet, dude.
Uh, and then he just finishes with, uh,
Wait, what was that?
he just finishes after that with,
Dude, it keeps cutting out when you say that last word.
he just UGH. Ugh.
Oh, gotcha.
Just finishes with a simple of. But I mean, what else is there left to say after that like second paragraph with just nothing but bangers?
Yeah, seriously.
No sex scene,
That was
only
my
three
favorite
hot
one.
chicks.
Because that guy wasn't like a lot of the other one-star reviews we've seen, I don't think. I think that guy just knows what he likes,
Yeah.
and this movie didn't have it. He wasn't like personally attacking anybody.
It's like, listen, I only ask for three things out of a movie: sex scenes, hot chicks
Hot
committing that
chicks.
sex,
Yeah.
and rock hard car chases.
Yeah, right, right. He's like, your trailer promised all three, sir. Like, why don't I have any?
Just picture looking over at this guy like while watching the movie with a raging hard boner, and he's like, "This is what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
baby."
I say we immediately proclaim this guy king of the one-star reviewers until
Oh,
further notice, because like I think
absolutely.
he really is doing it right. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but
He just tries to go get a refund at the end of the movie. Like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. Like, why didn't you enjoy it? He's like, no chub on the car chase, man. Like, I'm gonna need my
yeah,
money back.
yeah, yeah. This guy is like he's very self-actualized. That's how he's coming across to me. I think I kind of respect this guy.
Dude, you know how much more I would love a DVD cover if instead of the quick blurbs from like newscasters, it was just this guy being like, two chubs up, baby.
Yeah. Yeah. I
I
wish.
was rock hard.
So-
How faster I would buy a movie if the front cover just said I was rock hard.
Yeah. Absolutely, dude. Yeah, it's like if they then I can't believe they didn't put that on the DVD of like Crank or something. Like, it's- yeah, but like it also does kind of seem like this guy isn't doing a not my Jason Bourne. He's doing a not my James Bond, but it's not even a James Bond movie. It's like, what are you
Yeah.
talking about, man?
Uh, oh man. But hold on, let's see if we can note. Jim, have we does the name Seth is Lord seems familiar. I feel like we've come across that username before.
We maybe have. We
Because
have to
we've been
start
doing
keeping
that.
track.
We do have to keep track. I'm like 75% sure we've seen a review from Seth is Lord before. Like that username rings a bell, which I'm just going to be looking for this guy forever now because that's a absolutely all-star review. That's going in the Hall of Fame for reviews.
Yeah, we gotta. What we should do. We should go back. We should. I can do this like on the weekend sometime. I'll go back and listen to like episodes and try and like put all the usernames to their comments on IMDb.
Because we really need to track some of these Hall of
Yeah,
Famers.
because that name does sound familiar, and some of them have to appear more than once. There's
They
like
have
no
to.
way.
Because there's no way like these unhinged people are only leaving one review and then fucking off into the ether. Like they're
Right.
representing across the board.
Right, like the really crazy people like didn't write their review and be like, "All right, got that out of my system. Like,
Yeah.
let's get back to real life." Like that's not how that went. They
Like he
gotta
just
be on there more.
he hit post and then just immediately was like, oh, I feel so much better. I don't need to do any of that anymore.
Right, right. Like he woke up, he's like, "Man, I got a little heated about the Manchurian Candidate last night. Like maybe I need to rethink myself." Like that's
checked
not how
himself
any
in,
of them
yeah,
did it.
checked himself immediately into a therapist. He's like, I gotta get this
You're
under
right.
control.
He's never. None of these people have ever, like, most of these people, I should say, have ever questioned themselves. Like, I
No,
don't think. I would bet you we find dozens of these things
absolutely. But
from
all right,
people.
Seth is Lord. Seth is Lord. We see your work out there. We'll be keeping an eye out for you because I feel like you're going to be a multiple time Hall of Famer when all is said and done. But now we got our two 10-star reviews here, Jim. Our first person writes, Matt Damon, totally buff, totally hot, totally supercharged. He eats this roll up. Joan Allen, powerful. A role model for government officials of all genders. It would be nice.
No way.
It
A
would be
role model for government officials?
someone get Pete on the line. We need him to model himself after this movie. It would be nice if our presidential candidates would look to this role for a real definition of character. The action is breathtaking, though there are some cinematic choices that are unusual and sometimes distracting. The shots of Russia are beautiful. Oh, we got a Russian troll. The story here is tight and impressive. If I ever saw anything coming, I quickly forgot about it with all the action and was never surprised when it resurfaced. This movie gives the impression that a lot of talent, smart Hollywood people decided to give the audience their best, and it paid off. What, dude?
Yeah, I mean, I listen, I get like what he's saying. None of it was too crazy. I don't know that I agree with a lot of it.
It is like if I ever saw anything coming, I forgot about it. But I was never surprised when it came back around.
Yeah, actually, okay, I don't really know what that means. It seems like you would want to be surprised, right? That's why forgetting
Yeah,
about it was a good thing.
it's like what the fuck? A lot of smart Hollywood people decided to give it their best, baby, and we got it.
Sure, yeah,
Um,
let's say that.
yeah, but good on Joan Allen for creating a role model for all government people. Do you think this is required watching when you get a government job? They're like, listen here, people, this is how
The
you do it.
the introductory CIA like training, like day one, is like, all right, watch the three Bourne movies.
Report back. That's how I want to see you out in
Yeah,
the field.
right.
Oh my god,
Just
absolutely.
be like Pam Landers or Landy or whatever her name is.
And Landry.
Yeah. Wait,
Whatever.
she's not a role model, by the way. She
Yeah,
does
no.
like a dozen different horrendous things in the first like 10 minutes of this movie. She's not a role model, like even a little bit. Like, what is like, no.
Oh my god. I mean, listen, compared to some people we have in office right now, I'll take Pam Landy.
Yeah, I guess so.
Can't get any
I
worse, right?
suppose.
Pam Landy is Bondi. Both have Pams in it, Jim. I'm just saying. Put two and two together. Two Pams don't make a right.
I can't imagine. I can't
Yeah.
even think of a reason why they would. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
And then we have our last 10 star here. And they write, I can't believe some people voted one for this movie. It was the best movie I've seen so far. If sucky movies like Chicago and Titanic can win 9 to 10 Oscars, this should win that much and more to the tastes of those who vote for the Oscars. They're too girly and they suck big time. For those, troll.
Gotta be. They're too girly and they suck big time is maybe one of the funniest things you've ever read on this show. I can't. That's so great. They suck big
Big
time.
time. Big time suckers. For those who haven't watched this one, don't miss it. Just don't miss it. The story was so fast paced and absorbing, and the acting of Matt Damon was great to say the least. The story was awesome, brilliant, and some of the action scenes were edge of your seat breathtaking. Like, Jesus Christ. The dialogue were typical spy stuff, and Bond movies don't come near this great. Great movie. Thanks, Ludlum, and those involved in production for such a cool movie. Pretty sure Ludlum was dead by the time they made this, but all right, dude.
Yeah,
And also, like, don't think he had anything to do with it. Like, he just wrote the book.
right, right.
But yeah, dude, absolute troll right there. If sucky movies like Chicago and Titanic.
Yeah.
With 9 to 10 Oscars.
Titanic is like a dead giveaway too. Like that's gotta be a troll.
Yeah,
Like there's no
this
way.
should win that many more. You know, the often heralded 13 award-winning movie, The Bourne Supremacy.
Yeah. If only they had an award for best car chase at the Oscars.
All right. Oh god, Jim. All right, so I think we can turn it over to us now. Where do you fall on this movie is absolute garbage because the car chases leave us flaccid? To this should be, like double-digit award-winning movie.
Yeah, I mean definitely like somewhere in between those two. Although I will say the car chases didn't really get me there. Like, it's like want to make sure that that's out there. Like I didn't have any kind of thoughts like that while I was watching the car chase.
It's just a dude who sounds like he just gets off to Death Proof nightly.
Right. No, but like it's somewhere in between that. I mean, like it's like an interesting one because at times it feels kind of like a slow burn, like spy thriller. And then at other times it like kind of like flirts with going in the complete opposite direction, like tonally, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And like I don't know, I don't really know that I like it. I don't know that I'm like a fan of it as a movie. Um, I think that like it's really slow in the beginning. I think that like they have to do so much legwork to pull Jason Bourne back for like or maybe that they don't have to do it but they're doing so much legwork to try and pull Jason Bourne back into all of it and it feels so slow and I like didn't really enjoy it and then I think that like the middle of this movie is kind of a mess. I don't know but like what about you, am I like totally off base here so far?
No, no, I think you're kind of hitting the nail on the head. I do think this movie feels rather lackluster for like how I feel like the trajectory should definitely go within the story. Because like outside of them really just taking out Brian Cox, who really had next to nothing to do with Jason Bourne's like shenanigans in the first movie. How does Jason Bourne really change throughout any of this? How does it continue his progression to taking out Treadstone or anything? He's kind of like doesn't like the only thing of substance we get out of this movie is we learn his actual name.
Yeah, and I don't think Jason Bourne changes. I don't think he's the protagonist in this movie. I think he's the main
Joan Allen is
character. Yeah, Pam Landy's the protagonist, right? Like easily the protagonist. Like she's the one who's like kind of starts very in over her head and just kind of keeps digging herself deeper. And then by the end of it, it kind of all worked out because Jason Bourne's actually a pretty good dude. And she learned a lot along the way. You know what I mean? Like she's a much different person at the end of this than she was at the beginning of it, I think.
the issue for that though is the only thing of agency she ever actually does is just decide to not like take him in at the end because she doesn't
Right.
really have anything to do with anyone's comeuppance or like getting one over on Brian Cox or anything. He just kills himself. Like,
Yeah. Which by the way, that was like the weirdest shot when he shot himself. I don't know if we're yeah, I'll talk to you about that later, but like I it was like the weirdest shot. Like it kind of cut away and was on her face and like it cut back to him and it happened so fast like I had to rewind it because I couldn't tell if like the gun had like backfired or if he actually like brought the gun up to himself and shot himself.
yeah,
Like and I still couldn't really tell on rewind. It just looked more like that he was doing it to himself on the second watch, but I still couldn't tell for like for sure, you know?
it's like I feel like way too quick a cut on that. Uh,
Yeah, and I was trying to think like what that was even about. I was like, why would you do it that way? Like it like loses so much of its impact that way, I feel like.
yeah, it's absurd. I think the biggest thing and I know one star has kind of hinted at it a little bit. I really, really dislike the shaky cam in this.
Yeah.
And I will agree that like it's not as often as like the one stars are trying to make it seem, but anytime there is a big action piece of Bourne fighting, like the shaky cam is like relentlessly nauseating.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean like
It's like
this is one
you can't get a beat on the scene.
right. And it, like especially in that car chase. Like I feel like I've heard that car chase compared to the French Connection like more than once.
Yeah.
And like the French Connection also has a pretty cool car chase in it. It's not like super shaky like that, is it?
Not at all. Like the French
Right,
Connections car chase is like a lot of big, like wide and establishing shots that let you see all of the action,
right.
what's happening. There's so much quick cutting and like splicing and shaky cam in this to kind of like maybe, I guess, hide either the deficiencies in what they were actually doing stunt work wise, maybe, or like a purely aesthetic thing to go with like the times of how they were shooting it. But however they decided to do it, like it does nothing but distract from being able to have any bearing on like what's happening in a scene. I don't think the car chase is the worst example. I think his fight with Martin Chakas is the worst example. When they're like when he's like, I'm the last one left and the two of them duke it out in his apartment. That one is brutal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Way too close ups and just like aggressive shaky cam that like I have no idea what's happening this entire fight.
Right. You can't tell, yeah. And like that's another one, like compare it to like the fight on the train from Russia with Love, you know what I mean? Like which I think it's kind of trying to be a similar thing where it's like more of like a grappling match for a lot of that fight.
Yeah.
The difference is in From Russia with Love, you get a really great angle on what's happening and you can see the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like in this movie, it feels like it doesn't do either of those things really well.
Yeah, like you know
Because
where
I
you're at
was,
in action. You
yeah, I
don't,
was
you
watching it
don't
with
get that.
Alyssa and she literally turned to me and said the same thing. She's like, I can't even tell what's going on. Like what is this? You know?
It's absurd. Like I really really dislike it. And you know, it's a shame because like that action scene should like be sick. Like those two like
Yeah.
throwing down like that should be sick. Like the car chase I do think is still pretty sick, despite like the moments where they do shaky cam. But I think like when they go down into the tunnel in Russia, like that whole section like is pretty fucking sick.
Yeah, I still think the car chase is really good. I do think the shaky cam hurts it because, like, I wonder if part of what they're doing is like it feels more real if it's like shaky and
That's
like
what I
even
was
makes you a
thinking
little
is
bit nauseous.
yeah,
But
I
like
was thinking it was trying to be like an aesthetic thing that like made it feel like you were like in almost like in it with
one
them.
of the cars, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but like,
Um,
but I
which
just
makes
like,
sense as a, like a concept, but like I think the problem is like I think of like the car chase from like Rogue Nation, where there's like multiple points where like I feel like I'm in the car, but like not like literally, like I'm imagining being like what the consequences of that crash would be. You know what I mean? And like what that would feel like. And like I feel like that's kind of more what you really want, you know? And then like when they're on the bikes in Rogue Nation, like I am like literally just waiting for like a car to come around the bend or for one of them to fall. You know what I mean? Like I'm waiting for all the bad shit to happen.
so
And
like
that builds way more tension than me feeling nauseous. You know what I'm saying?
you still feel like you're right there in the action without like having to do all that extra like weird decision making on
Right,
your part to do it in
right,
this because yeah, it's nothing but a distraction.
right. I feel the danger of it as opposed to the feel like the pit of my stomach of it. You know what I mean? Like, which you want me to feel the danger when I'm watching your movie. Like, that's like 100% what you want, I would imagine.
Absolutely, no, you definitely do that. I think my other biggest concern with this movie because I still do like these movies. I like Matt Damon in this role. I think Matt Damon is great in this role. My biggest issue, besides the shaky cam with this movie, is that you've set up a hero that will never struggle. And there is never any point in this movie where I don't think he will not achieve his goals because you've set him up as being the fucking unstoppable Jason Bourne.
Yeah, I think this is another example of like his conflict is probably more of like an internal thing. And like they kind of hint at it like through like toward the middle to like toward the end, like where like he's seemingly getting like a little bit more and more unhinged as he goes. And I think like Pam Landy says at some point, like he doesn't seem like a person who's in control to me, you know? And I think they're trying to play that part of it up. Like they're trying to get you to wonder if he's like like totally out of control.
He's too
The
far
problem
gone.
is, yeah, the problem is I don't have any reason to believe he's out of control at this point because like his girlfriend gets killed in the beginning, or I don't even know, did they get married? Like the girl he's with, you know who I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
Um, she gets killed in the beginning, and then we immediately like don't think about her at all for like most of the rest of this movie. Like I've forgotten that even happened by like another 15 minutes in, you know what I mean? And like I kind of getting back to what you were saying before, where like that's fine if that's where we're going and he's getting more and more unhinged, but you have to like show, you can't just like have him start yelling at Julia Stiles toward the end of the middle of the movie and be like, see, he's getting a little crazy. Like I need to like see that progression, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest point to it is that like you want to have that internal battle, but he never really shows it outwardly that like he's ever really losing control at any point.
Yeah.
This dude always seems like he's in control of his faculties, even when he's questioning like, did I really kill the people they're saying I killed? But then they answer that like within like 5 minutes, where he's like, oh my God, they're talking about, Berlin. Like, I can't remember if I killed somebody there. And then like 5 seconds into it, they're like, no, 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 this happened 2 days ago. And he's like, well, I know I wasn't there 2 days ago. Like now I know. Like, and it's just like, so he has no reason to think he's unraveling anymore.
Yeah, and like yes, for sure. I do think they kind of visually show it a couple of times, like that he might not be like totally like stable. The first one is in the beginning in India, and it has like an all-time classic notes moment. Like this is one of my favorite things in movies where like I don't know if you remember in A Quiet Place, like John Krasinski had his little like basement bunker where he was trying to like crack the monsters and how you beat them, right?
Yeah.
And he had like that whiteboard, and on the whiteboard it was like no sound in all caps with like question marks, you know what I mean? Like and like it would say like how do we kill them? You know, like it had like very like obvious stuff on it, right?
Yeah.
It's like I feel like this is a thing they do in movies when like they're almost cheating a little bit, where they're like, all right, well you kind of get what they're about, but what if I just wrote it on that piece of paper? Like, you know what I mean? And just like stuck it in the background and just really get it in your face as to what they're doing right now.
Feed
And
you information.
yeah, so it's when it's when the girl in the beginning is like looking through his notebook and there's just a page and like it literally takes up like three-quarters of the page. It just says like who am I in like block letters and like colored in with like a big question mark. It's like okay, I get it. Like maybe there's some internal struggle happening here.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
so it has that. And then I do think, like, when you say he's like an unstoppable force, I do think they hint a couple of times at a thing that could potentially stop him. Which is like when he's like looking through the sight at Pam Landy that first time when he does the ask her, she's standing right next to you. You know what I mean? Like he has a moment when he's on the phone with her where he like almost passes out. You know what I mean? And that would be real bad in that situation if that were to happen. Like it like would greatly increase his chances of getting caught, and it's like not something that's really in his control, right? Because he's having like a reaction to whatever happened to him in Treadstone. It's like I think they
Those
kind of
headaches.
have like the very barest examples of it throughout the movie, but it feels like more of like an afterthought where like again like Pam Landy is kind of the only one who's like feels like she's learning anything throughout this whole thing. And like to your point, like he is kind of just like supposed to be this unstoppable force in this movie. And like not in the way he is in the Bourne Ultimatum either, because the Bourne Ultimatum feels like a victory lap for just how unstoppable he is, you know, and like what he's able to accomplish. This movie doesn't quite get to the levels of fun that that one gets to for me. It's just kind of like he's like sort of an unstoppable force, and also that's a little bit boring in this one, you know?
It almost feels like he's treading stones in
Yeah.
this movie.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you did there.
Oh. But yeah, I mean, I guess like for something like this though, like when he is such a immovable force, you almost want like an immovable object for him to go up against. And it
Yeah.
never really feels like it's careening towards like a big thing for him to overcome. Because they
Yeah.
even talk about it like in the first movie, he's fighting like all of the other agents that are like him. So he's got people of his level to fight. And in this movie, he dispatches the last one in like the first like hour. So then the next thing is just like his big bad that he has to face is Carl Urban. It's like that dude's just like a Russian asset. He's just like a normal dude. Like, of course, Jason Bourne's gonna fuck that guy up. Like,
Right. And he also like like you could do it where he's comparable to Jason Bourne, but he can't like disappear for the whole middle of the movie. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like
that too. Like,
he,
he basically just goes like, "Hey, you have a month off," and then we don't see him for like the fucking like middle of the movie.
right, right. And it's like um I don't know, it just seems like this is kind of why I don't necessarily buy into the emotional things that happens with his girlfriend in the beginning because like you know, he ends up killing the guy who killed his girlfriend in this movie. And like the way that scene plays out, I don't even know that like I would understand anything to that of that magnitude had happened between these two guys. Does that make sense? Like because it's been such an afterthought for the whole movie. I'm not feeling like it's a culmination of anything when it happens. And like it feels like it ought to be a culmination of like this whole journey, you know?
Absolutely, but it's like you said, like in the middle of this movie, all of the stuff of like his intention to come into the fold because like Marie got killed is just put into the backdrop because now the whole middle of the movie is just him just like solving the issues for the CIA and Pam Landy throughout like in the middle. And then it's just like, oh, now he goes to Russia and he's going to face off against the guy that killed his girlfriend. So
Yeah.
it's like you said, it just becomes like an afterthought. I
Yeah.
do like, however, the idea of like for him to feel complete again, he has to like almost like start that journey of reckoning with the fact that he was this dude that like murked and murdered people. And the way that he does that is he visits the daughter of
Yeah.
like, that dude that he kills. Like that
Oh
scene
no,
is
that's
yeah.
great.
Like I
That's
really
great.
like
Yeah.
that stuff. And that's a good way of like putting us in that progression, especially in like a middle chapter of like what's a way that we can progress his journey without getting us to like the actual end game, which is taking down Treadstone. And like
Yeah.
that's one of those things. It's like this is a movie almost of like self-discovery. There just doesn't feel like there's enough external forces that like continuously keep built like pushing him towards like confronting that in this movie to really feel like a great movie to me. Because like to me,
Yeah.
this is a good movie. Like I like it. It's never like boring. There's a lot of fun stuff in it, but it doesn't really hit the highs that like I felt in the first movie where he's like trying to unravel a mystery. The
Right.
mystery in this one feels like too tacked on and forced.
Yeah. And I mean like I'll compare this movie to another like spy kind of action movie. And I think this will be a good way to transition into kind of comparing this to a few different spy kind of action movies. But like going back to what you were saying about that like he never really like he's like this unstoppable force, right? Um think about the movie like wow, what's it called? I can't think of it now. The one with Leo and Russell Crowe,
City of
Body of
Lies.
Lies. Yeah, Body of Lies, that's what it is. Um there are so many scenes in that movie, and honestly, maybe every scene that Leo is in that movie, I like believe he could be killed. You know what I mean? Like it always feels like it's on the table. Like even when he's just meeting like the head of like Jordan's intelligence in like a bunker somewhere. I'm like, dude, this guy could kill him right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like that it works so much better that way, where he's still like doing like these incredible things and these like spy ops and all this stuff, but it feels risky. You know what I mean? It feels like he could get caught. Mission Impossible is kind of the same way. Like Ethan Hunt is also kind of an unstoppable force, right? Um, but at so many points in those movies, I feel like, holy, like, oh my God, this guy's gonna drown. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care how unstoppable he is. His lungs need air, bro. Like, how's he gonna do this, you know? And it just like I never get to that point with this movie. And like so it's not really like up there with the good spy action movies for me. And then like it's also not really up there with like kind of unstoppable force movies like John Wick. You know what I mean? Like this feels like almost like another watered down version of John Wick. Like and I know it's not trying to be John Wick, But like in theory, they're kind of similar. Like they're supposed to be this kind of like killing machine, like able to like get through any obstacle kind of thing.
Yeah.
They just give John Wick like way harder obstacles in his movie, and it's like way more interesting to watch, you know?
Well, they also make him like more fallible too. So it's like this movie walked so that John Wick could run.
Right, right. Well, that's a good way to put it, yeah. But it's
Because
like
it's
it's
like
almost
I feel like it would have been like not that like, and I feel like it's a quick fix. It's like, what if you hyped it up and actually built it up that Karl Urban is like the Russian version of him,
right, right, something along those
and
lines.
and
Yeah,
he's
like
like the newer
that would
he's the newer model of it because Jason Bourne's been in hiding for like however long it is, and this guy's doing nothing but training. So now
yeah.
it's like Jason Bourne's he's T-101. He's Arnold Schwarzenegger in T2. He's outdated.
You're basically saying that you wish it was Universal Soldier 2.
Yeah, in a way, sure.
Yeah, you're basically that's like
Why?
what you're shooting
Why
for
not?
here.
Why not?
Have you ever seen Universal Soldier 2?
You're not two. I've seen the first Universal Soldier.
Yeah, so the second one is like I think it's the second one. Maybe it's the first one, but I think it's the second one. Isn't it like he gets replaced by like the younger model?
Isn't that just the first one?
Oh, maybe it's just the first one. Yeah, maybe. I haven't seen any of those movies in a very
But I
long
mean, like,
time.
it's also like that's the Terminator plot. It's like it's always a new one, and it's just an outdated model. But like, it works because it's a way to make your character a superhero, but also raise stakes so that like I could believe that this superhero could die at any moment.
Yeah, yeah, it's fair. And so I do want to go through some spy movies here and
Uh,
kind of get a feel for like where in the spy subgenre do we think this falls, and then like what spy movies are you putting ahead of it? So I'm going to start. Do you take Bourne Supremacy or Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery?
so you're already starting off with a heater here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Two very different spies.
Yeah, very
Uh,
different spies.
very
Which do
different
you
spies.
prefer, sir?
Fuck, dude. I mean, that's a tough one because it's just like two completely different genres. So it's like it's hard to compare when they're like apples to oranges. Because like I like the Austin Powers movie better than I'd like this movie, but like I
Yeah,
think I would still obviously pick. It's still I think like Born Supremacies might be the better movie overall, but not the more enjoyable movie to me personally.
yeah. I'm taking Austin Powers and I'm not even blinking, bro. Like it's
Okay.
not even it's not
Fair.
even close.
Fair. Who would you take in a fight, Austin Powers or Jason Bourne?
I mean, Austin, does he have his mojo?
Oh, Austin Powers got his mojo, baby.
Yeah, then he can't lose, dude. No way.
Jason Bourne would be going to take out the CIA, and Austin Powers is already banging Joan Allen.
Yeah. All right. So we went with a little bit of a silly spy movie. I'm gonna get to one that's a little more serious, and it's interesting because this is like let me see what you think about this. So, do you take the Bourne Supremacy or Black Klansman?
Ooh, yeah. Again, very different types of spies.
Yeah, because like I would say like undercover cop movies are like a subgenre of spy movies, right?
Of spy movies. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, in a way. Because you're still like, because even like most spy movies, you're being undercover and duplicitous. So
Right,
it's all,
right. They're playing the same notes, you know?
yeah, I would take Black Klansman.
Yeah, me
That
too.
movie is fucking phenomenal.
Agreed. Now, let's go to one that's more like a Cold War-y kind of thing. Because this is where I think Bourne Supremacy kind of like ends up, where it's trying to be somewhere between like a Cold War-y kind of spy movie, like with like that cloak and dagger stuff, and then something more on the actiony side. And I think it kind of falls in this weird space. But so do you take the Bourne Supremacy or 2015's Bridge of Spies?
Ooh, damn, it's a good movie. I would take Bridge of Spies.
Easily, right? Like
Is
easily.
yeah, Spiel like it's just like it's no match. Like Spielberg is a man that no, like every camera movement in a Spielberg movie is a fucking work of art.
Right, right, exactly. So another one kind of in that same vein of Bridge of Spies, maybe a little bit more action, but nothing as overt, I feel like, as the car chase in Jason Bourne. Do you take the Bourne Supremacy or 2005's Munich?
Jesus, it's fucking God, dude. Yeah, these are all over the place with spy movies. Munich, of course. I mean, like
Yeah,
we're just talking about Spielberg being in a work of art, and like Munich is one of his fucking top tier ones. So like,
right.
of course that.
Right, so but you get what I'm driving at here, where like there's a way to make a really great spy movie, like a really great one, where it's like that cloak and dagger stuff, and
Yeah.
like people are getting shot with pistols in dark rooms. You know what I mean? And then there's a way like you can make the Bourne Supremacy, I guess. Like and like
It,
it's trying to lean into that genre a little bit, but it's just doing it in such a like weird, like shallow kind of way.
I mean, maybe the one stars were onto something with Not My Jason Bourne.
Maybe.
And maybe they should have done a more literal adaptation and just made it a period piece.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna have another gear shift here.
Okay.
Do you take The Bourne Supremacy or 1998's Enemy of the State?
That's a
That's
tough
a
one.
lot harder than you thought it was at first, isn't it? That's
It is only because I haven't seen Enemy of the State in like decades. So like I can't really recall. Like I know I loved that movie when I saw it, but I can't really recall like specific things about that movie. So like it's a tough call only in the sense that I haven't seen that movie in forever, and I feel like I would need a refresher before I could like adequately say which one I would take. Like instinct says like Enemy of the State, but I feel like I need to watch that movie again before I could like really feel comfortable about making that decision.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from. I haven't seen that in a hot minute either, but I'm on the same ship as you there. I would take Enemy of the State. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I definitely would. All right, so let me see. We're gonna go back into
Gonna
comedies a
say,
little bit here.
has Bourne won one yet?
No, that this is the point I'm trying to make, dude. This is exactly what I'm driving at. Uh, we'll go back into like the comedic realm here. Do
Okay.
you take The Bourne Supremacy or 2008's Burn After Reading?
Oh, oh man. I'm sorry, Bourne. Burn
Yeah,
after
right. There's no way it can't win that. There's no way, right?
Brad Pitt is the ultimate spy in that movie.
Yeah. All right. So this also maybe a little bit more in Bourne's wheelhouse. Definitely like contemporary and similar in the sense that it's a piece of IP. I'm not going to ask you about all of them because there's a lot
Okay.
of them. But let's maybe do this in chunks. Do you take the Bourne Supremacy over any of the Sean Connery Bond movies?
Um, there's one of his later ones that he came back for that's fucking terrible. Not the best ones, no. Like I was about to say Gold Member. Goldfinger, You Only Live Twice, From Russia with Love,
Right, right.
Thunderball, like it not even close to any of those ones. But I think there was like towards the end of his run, like Diamonds Are Forever, and there's another one where like he left but came back, but I can't remember what the name of that one was.
Yeah,
Never Say Die.
right. Which is like,
Yeah,
isn't Never Say Die the one where
he
like
just basically remade Thunderball.
right, they remade Thunderball because like somehow like I think Thunderball had like become public domain somehow, so they were able to just like
Just
make
do
it
it
under a
again.
different name or
Yeah,
something.
but it was like it was fucking horrible. So like I would put it over like the lower effort ones, but like his like run where he was like where it was just hitting on all cylinders, like not even close.
Right, right. So maybe the better way to ask these is would you take the Bourne Supremacy over peak Sean Connery? And the answer would be no.
Yeah, the answer would be no. Go over the lesser efforts, yes. Same would go for Roger Moore. Like
Yeah, I was gonna say Roger Moore. Peak Roger Moore's
yeah,
gotta beat him, right?
peak Roger Moore beats it, but like shitty Roger Moore, like nah, absolutely not.
All right. Hold
Um,
on. I have a very specific movie to
Okay.
ask you
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think I know where you're going, but hit me with it.
Yeah,
I think I
yeah.
know exactly
Hold
which one
on.
you're gonna say, and the
I
answer is absolutely not. But go on, you
I
ask it.
can't believe I forgot the name of it. Hold on.
Are you gonna say On Her Majesty's Secret Service?
No, no, no. I don't think
Oh,
so.
what a twist out of you. I thought you were gonna go for George Lazenby's classic, or are you thinking Timothy Dalton ones?
No, I'm pretty sure it's the Roger Moore one. Hold on, bear with me for a second.
Okay, okay. I swear to God, if you say like a fucking View to Kill or something,
Oh, that's that's it. That's
that's
it.
it.
As soon as you
A
said it,
View
I
to
knew
a
it. Yeah.
Kill. No,
A
I hate.
View to a Kill. Yeah.
No, I fucking hate that one.
I would watch A View to a Kill 1,000 times in a row before I watch The
No,
Bourne Supremacy again.
no, I fucking. That's like one of the few Roger Moore ones that I just fucking can't stand.
Dude,
Uh,
Christopher Walken at his peak, bro.
no,
Christopher Walken
Bourne
Bond
Supremacy.
villain. How dare you, sir?
Bourne Supremacy over that one all day.
No, you're crazy. You're crazy.
Right over
Uh,
that one.
over, what is it? It's Timothy Dalton is the guy, is the other guy?
The two Timothy Dalton ones in the '90s are fucking so underrated. It's not even like fair, like the way that they
Isn't
shit on him.
he's the one when like they're like in New Orleans for one of them, right? And they're like feeding people to like alligators and stuff.
Oh, isn't that Live and Let Die?
Maybe who's in that one?
Roger Moore. It's when he's
No,
fighting like the
it's
voodoo people and everything, right?
I don't think Roger Moore is in the one I'm thinking of because the one I'm thinking of starts where like Bond is like the best man at a wedding.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I think it's the Living
And like somebody
Living
like
Daylights.
attacks the wedding.
Yes,
It's like,
yes,
and
yes, yes,
then
yes, yes. No, yeah, you're right. Yeah, that is a Timothy Dalton one.
yeah, yeah.
I know the Living Daylights and License to Kill are like so underrated. It's not
Yeah,
even.
I think License to Kill is the one with the wedding too. I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
Uncharted got a lot of love, I think, from watching those specific Bond movies because I see a lot of influences when I've played Uncharted from those two Bond movies specifically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would take those
Um,
over. There's very few Bond movies. I feel like it's really only the reviled Bond movies that really wouldn't. So that's like Die Another Day, fucking Spectre.
yeah. All right, so I got another one for you.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean like and then Peak Pierce Brosnan also beats him. And honestly,
Of course, yeah. Like Golden
like
Eye, like not even close. Like you're not touching
like
Golden
down bad Pierce Brosnan might also beat this movie for me. Like I would probably watch the
Eye.
one him and Halle Berry made again
I was gonna
before I
say
would
you would
watch
put
Born
you would put Die
Supremacy.
Another Day. Like I don't
Yeah.
know, dude.
Is Die Another Day the one with the North Korean guy?
Yep, yes it
Yeah.
is.
I would watch that movie again in a heartbeat, bro.
My
That movie
God,
is so wild.
my God. Yeah, that movie is out of control. His car does
Um,
like the fucking barrel roll over ice.
yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
movies are nuts, bro.
So like, and there's other ones I could do here. Like I could bring up like some of those Hitchcock movies, like North by Northwest, I think, or did he make that? I don't remember. But
He
like
did make that,
North by Northwest,
but those are slam dunks. Like you know where I'm gonna
right?
go with that. Like
I know. I'm just saying, like they're like again, like those are like the really good like cloak and daggery ones. Like
yeah,
that Bourne Supremacy is like kind of cheaply imitating at points in this movie. Um, so I got one more for you that again
okay,
I think is in a similar wheelhouse as this movie.
okay, I'm ready for it.
Do you take The Bourne Supremacy or Atomic Blonde?
Uh, Honestly, I would take the Bourne Supremacy. I rewatched Atomic Blonde recently, and I still like Atomic Blonde, but it feels very much all style, no substance.
Oh yeah, it's 100% all style, no substance, but that's kind of why it's in the same lane as this movie, I think.
No, I feel that. I think I still enjoyed this movie more. But I will give the caveat. Atomic Blonde, lot of babes.
Yeah, there is way more than three hot chicks in
Yeah.
Atomic Blonde.
Yeah, listen, car chases, getting you rock hard in that movie, and a lot of hot chicks, and there's some sex scenes, baby.
Yeah, I may need to see Atomic Blonde again, but I think I would take that movie. Just because, like, man, how do I put this? Like, I don't know that I'm the biggest fan of spy movies, So like a lot of the like double crosses and like turns, I'm always kind of like, who cares? You know, like
Yeah,
it's like that. It's like none of these are surprising. It's like they happen in all of them, right?
yeah.
Um,
It's like a very
but like
specific
I
formula
do,
it follows.
yeah, I do love the style of Atomic Blonde, like in a lot of ways. And then
Yeah.
it has that like great umbrella scene. But I'm kind of with you. I would kind of need to watch it again, maybe, because I haven't seen it in like a few years now.
Well, that one definitely falls in like a very similar wheelhouse for sure.
And that, I think that's really all I got. I mean, I can take a quick look.
Works. I think we've exhausted what we need to out of the Bourne Supremacy. Where
Yeah,
do
agreed.
you where does this fall Supremacy in the Bourne franchise for you? Have you seen all of the Bourne movies or just the original trilogy?
I think I've only seen the original three. I didn't see any of them after that.
You didn't. All right, so you didn't see Legacy
So,
or the absolute classic that just is Jason Bourne.
yeah, no, absolutely not. I would probably put them one, three, two is probably what I would say, but I would need to see three again. I do think
So
one was way better than this movie, though. Like, way, way better.
yeah, so do I. I watched one before I watched two for this because it had been so long since I had seen any of them that I was like, let me just watch one to be refreshed. And one was like leagues better than this. I don't think I've seen three since we watched it in theaters, so it will be fun to get to that one when we do it. I mean, I'll probably watch it before we get to it because I Heather watched these with me. And she really liked Identity. She thought this one was cool, but I know now she'll want to watch like the third one, so we're probably going to end up just watching the whole series right now.
Yeah,
So it will be cool to see the third one, but then again, also do it whenever we inevitably get to that episode.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, and I think we've exhausted all we can out of Jason Bourne this week. I think with that, we're ready to turn our attention to the star ratings.
I'm not, I kind of want to play the bad one, but I don't know if I should go that far.
Yeah, what do you think Raj would want?
I think he probably would have given this a good score.
You're not going to give it to Raj, man. He's just rolling over in his grave right now.
So should I play? You're saying if I think you should give it a good score, I should play this one?
Which one?
I'm Roger Ebert. In a scene from the best film of the decade. This is a great film.
Yeah, Raj would want you to play that drop, Jim. Raj gave this bad boy 3 out of 4 stars.
It's so crazy to me.
He wrote, it treats the material with gravity and uses good actors in well written supporting roles that elevate the movie above its genre, but not quite out of it.
Yeah, I don't know. See, I don't know that I would say it elevates it out of its genre. I think we kind of proved when we went through all those spy movies that it like didn't
Yeah.
do that at all, actually. At least in my opinion.
Although, listen, on Empire's list of the 500 greatest movies of all time, this movie made it 454.
Oh wow.
High watermark here.
I mean, that's hard to argue with. You're right.
How did you talk yourself out of that one? All right, Jim, I'll turn it to you. Final thought, final rating for the Bourne Supremacy.
I don't know. I think I give this like a 2 out of 5. I really did not enjoy it.
2 out of 5.
Like
That's
it
fair.
picks up toward the end, but it's like way too little, way too late because for like from like about 20 minutes in to about an hour in, I really didn't like this. Like really, really genuinely didn't like it.
Yeah, I'm right around there with you. I'm gonna go a little bit above you. I still do think this was a good movie. I'm gonna give it 3 stars, but I get exactly where you're coming from. And for me, like the big notable things to like are the car chase scene is pretty sick. I do like Matt Damon in the central role, but it is very mishmash of themes all over the place, and the shaky cam of the action scenes don't even really let you get a beat or enjoyment out of the action in this movie. So it is tough to get a beat on this at a lot of times, but I did still enjoy it. So I'm going to go with a three. So with a three from me and a two from you, going to give us an overall score of a 5. I feel like it's been a moment since we've seen a fiver. So we're going to do some battles with some fives here, Jim. Do you take the Bourne Supremacy or Scary Movie? 'Cause. Movie?
Dang. Um, that's a hard one.
It is a hard one, dude. The fives might bring some heat, man. This is some tough battles.
I think I would take Scary Movie.
I think I would also take Scary Movie, honestly.
See, you hated this movie too, man.
No, I gave both of them a three. I gave Scary Movie a
I
three.
know. I'm just saying, I don't know that you've picked it. Like, Atomic Blonde might be the only movie that you picked it over. Like, which I'm just saying, I don't think you liked it very much.
Well, not in comparison to like all the like heaters you were throwing at me. Like the
You
Spy
mean like
Giant's got a lot of.
all the good spy movies? Like,
I mean,
like
you were throwing out like a lot of really great spy movies.
yeah,
Like
like all the ones that are like good movies. Yeah.
you're like,
Like
I'm gonna
not
put
this
Bourne
one.
Supremacy. It's like, let's see where this lines up. I'm gonna give you Bourne Supremacy versus Munich. Like, come on.
Yeah,
Like,
well, because I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know.
not even
Like, I didn't
close.
just give you Munich either. I gave you like a wide array of spy movies. Like, don't put that evil on me.
Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
You know, I gave you a wide array of good ones, and they all beat out
Maybe a
the Bourne
wide array of
Supremacy.
like
That's what happened. It's on tape, sir.
the best of spy movies. You're shouting out movies like Spy Game or Spy Hard.
Oh yeah, how did I leave out? Wait, okay, hold on. How did I leave out Spy Game, by the way?
Robert Redford, Brad Pitt classic.
Yeah. All right. So okay, let's keep. You know what? You brought this back up. You brought this on yourself, dude.
No,
Because I'm about to
no,
prove to you how
no.
much you don't like this movie. Spy Game or Born Supremacy?
I will neither confirm nor deny actions within my organization.
Yeah, of course it's Spy Game, bro. Like, what else could it be? That's a way better movie. Like,
Man. All right, so an easy
Spy
bounce.
Kids 2 or Born Supremacy?
Point supremacy. You go fuck yourself.
You're crazy. You're crazy. At this point, you're
I'm not,
just gonna double down.
I'm not going that far off the cliff.
Let's be honest here, dude.
Yeah.
You're practically a Born Supremacy shill at this point.
I know. Listen. I am getting paid by what was the who put this movie? Universal is paying me to support the Bourne franchise. I have nothing but good things to say. I can neither confirm nor deny reports of being a shield for this company.
What
Bourne
about what
Supremacy,
about what about that Melissa McCarthy movie? What's that one? Like Spy or whatever?
just simply called Spy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would take the Bourne Supremacy any day. Don't even at me with Melissa McCarthy
What about
movies.
what about the spy who dumped me?
Stop it. It's enough out of you.
I would take the spy who dumped me, by the
God,
way.
that's it. I'm calling out a hit on you right now. I'm gonna get Jason Bourne on the line.
Get some rest, dude. You look tired.
I wouldn't have to ask you that. She's standing right next to you. Oh man. All right, so Bourne Supremacy gonna fall on the number 55 spot on our list. Sandwiched between Scary Movie and SWAT. No, there was a few other fivers, so we can run the gamut on the rest of the fivers, Jim.
Oh
Would
yeah,
you
yeah.
take Bourne Supremacy or 51st Dates?
Born Supremacy.
Yeah, I would take Bourne Supremacy too. Would you take Bourne Supremacy or X2, X-Men United?
X2.
Yeah, I would take X2 also. Would you take Bourne Supremacy or Ice Age?
Ice Age. Like 100% Ice Age. It's gotta
Oh
be,
god.
right?
Oh god. No, I don't think it's gotta be at all. I would take Bourne Supremacy. And then finally, King of the Fives. Do you take Bourne Supremacy or Pokemon the first movie? Unbelievable amount of fives here.
Pokemon the first movie, no question.
I really can't describe the ways in which I'm done with you today.
It's dude, there's like I can't. I'm out of ways to describe how much I did not like the Bourne Supremacy. Like,
I think you've aptly put it when you picked Pokemon the first movie.
yeah, Mewtwo taught me more about life than
I
Jason
knew I
Bourne ever
knew
did. Okay.
immediately you were gonna go into that. I know.
you tell me when they start playing that brother fighting brother song in Bourne Supremacy, okay? You come at me when that happens.
Oh, I know every path you're gonna take before you take it. I'm like Jason Bourne. I know every move you're gonna make and describe
Yeah,
the Pokemon first movie.
oh man.
Oh my God. Oh, all right. What came out the following week, Jim? What's our next movie?
We were gonna do Collateral, right? Because we're like switching this up a little bit. I
We
don't
are,
know if you
yes.
can tell,
We,
but
yeah,
TJ had not seen this movie in theaters. We got very tired of breezing past movies that were good and fun to talk about.
we did. We really didn't describe it in the beginning of it. I kind of switched around how I was picking like all our movies. We didn't really break it down for the people, but yes, we decided we're going to start going just week to week for movies in the 2000s because like Jim said, there's no reason for us not to be doing Bourne Supremacy or Collateral in addition to the movies that I also saw in theaters because like
Or Raising Helen.
or yeah. All right, yeah. Easy there. Settle yourself down. Because while it is also fun and hilarious and quite possibly annoying at times to sit through movies like Alien vs. Predator and Anaconda's Hunt for the Blood Orchid, there is zero reason for us to be skipping movies like Collateral so that we can do movies like AVP
Right,
and
correct.
Anaconda's for the Hunt for the Blood Orchid. So we're gonna go week by week now, really dive into the 2000s and really get into the nitty gritty of everything. So we'll still be hitting all those movies that we did see in theaters, but we're also going to be hitting like actual important movies in the zeitgeist of the 2000s that we should also be hitting. So next week, diving into the Tom Cruise, Jamie Foxx classic that is Collateral. What was the last thing you jammed on?
So mere minutes before we started recording this, I watched the trailer for that new Bruce Springsteen movie that's coming out.
Oh yeah, with Jeremy Allen White. Oh yeah, my
I
God.
I cannot be the only one who is like fed up with these music biopic movies,
Dude,
right? I can't
I'm
be.
I'm so done with them. Like they're so like when they're doing like you got to understand, man. There when he was a boy, there was a
He
hole
had a hole in
in
his
his roof.
floor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so
And then
like the
it
music
goes
he's making now can hopefully repair. He can't repair that hole in his room, but hopefully he can repair that hole in his heart and by extension heal the world. It's like
yeah.
fuck you, die. It's like
Yeah, and
fuck you,
it's
fuck
like
you.
first of all, pretty sure Bruce Springsteen never healed the world, guys. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure it's like even worse than before he happened. Like I don't think he really did much. I mean,
He's on
he
tour
filled
right
up
now.
some time on classic rock radio stations for the rest of the time. I'll give him that.
It's like for
But
fuck's sake, man. Like
that and my dude, my favorite line from the trailer though, it's that same the starting point where they're like, when he was a kid, he had a hole in the floor in his room, and then he goes, floor's supposed to be underneath you, hold you up. He didn't have that. Like it's like, dude, I couldn't, I
fuck you.
couldn't take it. I
Yeah.
was like, the boomers are just too self-important, man. I can't. Like they're like,
Fucking
it's
unbelievable. Like watching that trailer, I was like, dude, like these gotta stop, man. Like I'm fucking
yeah.
done with this. Like,
Yeah. And then of course they're gonna have the scene that every one of these stupid movies has where they're like, they have like the big concert performance at the end, and it's like, wow, doesn't he look so much like Bruce Springsteen? Like, dude, I can't take it. It's so bad.
I'm so done with them. Like a complete unknown. This like it's just like we gotta stop doing this, guys.
Right. Like there it can't possibly be that interesting the way he recorded that album, right? Like
No,
what could
absolutely
have
not.
possibly happened that we need to make a movie about this?
Absolutely not. There's zero reason for any of this to be happening. And I think the thing that I hate worst out of them all too is like the titles for them because it's like they can't just call it like I forget what like the actual one is called, but like they have to like start it with Springsteen and then it's like comma and then it's like the subtitle of what the actual movie should just be called, but they can't
Right.
just call it that because then no one will know that it's the movie about Bruce Springsteen. But it's like for fuck's
Right.
sake, guys, like
Right. The Bruce Springsteen fans aren't smart enough to figure it out. So
just
they
call
just
it
kind of put it in huge letters at the
yeah,
front.
We just gotta build it up. But hold on, now I gotta know what the actual fucking thing is called. So we gotta Springsteen. Yeah, so it should just be called Deliver Me from Nowhere, but they gotta tack Springsteen onto it so people know.
Yeah, I'm just so sick of it.
Yeah, it
But
looks
anyway,
horrible.
what if you?
I'm
No,
not
go
a
ahead,
big
go ahead.
I'm not a big Springsteen guy, so I wouldn't know. Is Deliver Me from Nowhere like a song or an album?
I don't know. I
I
mean,
don't
like I know the movie's about him filming recording the album Nebraska.
Yeah, so I guess maybe that might be a song from that album.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe, yeah, but yeah, I don't know or care enough about Bruce Springsteen to fucking comment on. But yeah, dude, that movie looks trash. Like the second I saw that, I was like, "Fuck you, fuck this movie so much."
Yeah, it's really bad. I don't want to. Like I mean, obviously I haven't seen the movie, but the trailer was like I
So
saw it
uninspiring.
and I had to put it on, and it was just like it did not disappoint. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that this is a real thing.
It's the most like derivative stock genre right now is the musical biopic, and I'm not here for
Yeah,
it. I don't want
absolutely.
them. Stop doing them. I fell back into the slippery slope of watching streaming original movies, Jim, and I hate myself for keep falling for it. Well, I'm just gonna keep falling for it. Amazon Prime
There's a
released this,
reason they keep making them, dude. They go
yeah,
down like water.
yeah,
Like,
because the dumb fucks like me just keep being like, I'm not gonna fall for this again, and then they're like, hey, we got one with Orlando Bloom, and I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna watch that one. Like, so I watched the Amazon Prime original movie Deep Cover, which is Orlando Bloom and Bryce Dallas Howard. And they are improv comedians who are hired by the FBI to act as undercover liaisons because like they can think quick on their feet and stay in character. So they hire them to go undercover to try and buy like loose cigarettes from like underground criminals, and they end up falling into like far too deep into like an actual criminal underworld to the point that they become like hitmen for these people. And it's fucking ludicrous. It's so dumb. It's I the whole time I'm watching it, I'm just like, you're 30 minutes into it. You know exactly where you're going. Like, just stop yourself, turn it off now. And then I'm like, maybe 5 more minutes. And then I just
yeah,
watch the
but
whole entire thing and hate myself.
right. It's like the way I do it is I get to that point and I'm like, but I do have laundry to fold. So like, you know what I'm saying?
I just
Like
sit
I
there
guess
like
I can watch this while I do that.
yeah, I just sit there and I'm like, God damn it, I hate myself for doing this. Like, and I never learn. I never learn. And I won't ever learn. I'll be here right. I'll be here next week whenever the next original streaming movie comes out, and I'll be doing it all
Yeah.
over again.
Come on, dude, join us.
Join
One of
us.
us. One
One of
of us.
part of the ship, part of the crew. And yeah, and that's our stuff for you this week. Make sure to go out as always, form your own opinions on these movies, and join us here next week when we dive into the Tom Cruise classic that is Collateral. And as always, we'll see you at the movies.